Hello fellow mum makers, welcome to our channel. Today I told you, if you had been watching our quilted bubblegum braids, that I wanted to talk specifically to mum business owners about how Rayan and I use the bubblegum braid to prep in the off season. Because I'll tell you, I hear all the time, I don't like the bubblegum braid, it's time consuming. It takes up too much time. It takes up too much ribbon. And I will agree, it takes ribbon and it takes time. And then I will, as I've told y'all before, I'm a little spoiled in that this is my mom's favorite braid. And she does it, a lot of them for us. But I will tell you, I think if you'll approach it a little bit different, I just want to see if maybe I can get you to fall in love with the bubblegum braid. But I will say the key to it is that you do it in the off season because it is very time consuming. But the thing that I love about doing it in the off season, and I really think it's one of the main reasons it's one of my mom's favorites, is it's one of those braids that's very easy to do on the go or to do while watching TV. And I will tell you, when I think about if a braid is time consuming, part of it, especially in the off season, is it time consuming me away from my family and up in my craft room working on something, or is it something that I can take with me and maybe do it while I'm watching TV or in the car while I'm riding someplace? And with that, it doesn't bother me as much that it's time consuming. And the other thing that I love about the bubblegum braid is that I put these examples out here because this is kind of how Rayan and I prep these in the off season, and how my mom preps these for us in the off season is we do a lot of solid colors and then a lot of maybe two colors of our very common schools. So I know everyone that I'm talking to has a very different situation. They're in a different market. Maybe you do lots and lots of different schools. Maybe you do one main school. So what I'm going to do is kind of tell you the situation that Rayan and I have. And then what I want you to do is, while I'm thinking about it, I want you to think how that might apply to your business. And basically, Rayan and I do a lot of different schools. There's a lot of different schools in our area. But when we're lucky in that we kind of have these pairs. We have a lot of schools that have navy in it, a lot of schools that have red in it, a lot of schools that have black. We have two green and black schools. For instance, we have a school that has a navy and silver, navy and Columbia blue, navy and gold. Just lots of schools that have commons. I know I have another mum maker friend that she has lots of burgundy schools, and then all of those burgundies have different accents. So what we do is we thought about the colors that are common, and that's what we prep in the off season. We're gonna prep these solid so that when the season starts, we're gonna have a whole bunch of these solid navy blues, a whole bunch of these solid reds, and then maybe a whole bunch of solid blacks, and then some of our common schools, we might have black and white, or we might have black and green, or red and black. Raina bleed red and black. But then we use them because we don't know how many of each school we're going to get. We use them to turn them into other things. So let me show you a few examples, and I think you'll see kind of our system, and I want to see if it's something that might help you fall in love with the bubblegum braid too. Before I do that, I wanted to tell you one of the reasons I also love to prep the bubblegum braid is that you can take it with you, and if you start the bubblegum braid, you don't even have to take a stapler with you. All you have to do is take your ribbon and maybe put it in a Ziploc baggie, and then you can either just fold it and throw those folds in the bag, or you can create the bubble gum, and then all you need to do when you get back home is finish that staple. I know a lot of you spend time at sporting events, and maybe you don't want to take rolls and rolls and rolls of ribbon, and I know both of our husbands will say, well, that love braid's kind of loud. So this is a good braid to do while watching TV, while on the go, while at sports. And if you are a mom business owner, I would highly suggest, if you do a large quantity of mums, that you invest in one of these ribbon cutters, especially for the bubblegum braid, because it's going to get your cuts totally straight. So what I would do before I was to leave is I would go ahead and load whatever color I needed, and let's say I was doing a small bubblegum braid all in navy blue, then I already have this loaded into 178, and 178 is the equivalent of 7 inches, which is what you need for the small bubblegum gum, and then you can just have this cut it for you. And if you, I'll do a better tutorial, but when you press this little button here, once you have your length, you can tell it to do different amounts, and then it will just automatically cut it for you. I'm gonna stop it so that you don't have to listen to it. But then just throw all these pre-cut ribbon in a bag, plus some of your ones that are like this, and you don't even have to take your stapler. And then you're ready to watch a movie with your spouse or your friends or your kids, or you're ready to watch your kids' sports activities, or you're ready to go on that long road trip. And then do all that in the off season. And then when the season starts, you have all of these bubblegum braids that are already done. That's the most time consuming. And then let's say I have a whole bunch of these navy ones. Then I can turn them into using all the different techniques that we talked about in our large bubblegum or our quilted bubblegum. And what I'll do, they're all in our braiding tutorial series that I'll put at the end, but I'll also put them specifically in the description for here. So if you're not familiar with some of the techniques that I talk about with like adding ribbon into the large bubblegum, or the way I do sets of threes in the quilted bubblegum, you can go back and look at those. But basically, if you'll look, both of these braids are totally different. This one is for a totally different school. Both of these started with this braid. And I will tell you, I didn't do it on camera because I wanted this to be a shorter video, but I timed myself, and I'll put the timer up so you can see. It took me, I think, a little over 8 minutes to turn this braid into this braid, including the bling. And so this would be for our supreme level because it has the imprint ribbon in it, and it could be for our navy and silver school. And then this one, of course, can be for our navy, white, and gold school. So having this already prepped saves you immense time in the season, but gives you more braiding options and a really nice look. Another example of that is our double bubblegum braid. This started out as just a solid Columbia blue and a solid navy small bubblegum braid, and then it was turned into this. And if I had a whole bunch of navy, a whole bunch of Columbia blue, a whole bunch of red, well, this could have just as easily been turned into a braid for my navy, red, and white school. A few more options I wanted to show you. I think I showed this one in the large bubblegum braid, but this one already had a little bit of the quilted in it, and it was green, white, and black. And then I added the imprint, and I added a little bit of diamond dust in there. So it helps us because we also not only don't know what colors we're going to get, but we don't know what level of mum we're going to get. So that might allow us to take, say, a braid from our traditional line that doesn't have any diamond dust or imprint ribbon, all the way up to our supreme line that has diamond dust and imprint ribbon. So I hope that will also help you think of some ways that would help in your business from moving into the different levels of mums you may have. And then we prep most of our bubble gums, or again, my mom does a lot of them as well, in the full 36-inch length, and then they're easy to cut in half. And say I could take one of these and turn them into two different looking quilted bubblegum braids, or I could take this and keep them together and weave in and turn them into a full-length double bubblegum braid for a mum. So there's just so many options that you can do. You also can prep the quilted bubblegum and turn it into that new variation for 2024 that I just posted, the double quilted bubblegum. But these are the reasons that I love the bubblegum. It's a good basic braid that will allow you to add many colors to it. But let's also look at senior colors. I know another place that we all struggle with being able to prepare is custom senior colors. And so one of the things that Ryan and I try to do is we think about the braids that we could add color to. And the bubblegum is one of those. And so this is prepared in just white and the silver accent color. But let's say we had someone who wanted this beautiful rose water color. Then all we could do, and we could pick however many we wanted to use, and we could just add them in at whatever variation number. I'm only going to do one to keep this video short. If you want to see more about this technique, I talked about it a little bit more in our large bubblegum braid. I'm going to put a white over here as well because I don't want that pink showing through as well. And then I can just staple it in there and secure it real good. And then you could do that how many ever variations you want. And then that is much quicker in the season than creating this entire braid. So that is another way I think you can take an approach when it comes to custom senior colors in the bubblegum braid. So I hope that I have convinced you to maybe consider using the bubblegum braid more in your business. I would love to hear in the comments, are you like me? Do you already use it all the time? Or have I convinced you? Or you know what? You just may not like the bubblegum braid the way it looks, and I'm totally okay with that as well. But I would love to hear in the comments your thoughts on this. If you would like more videos like this aimed specifically to mom business owners and how Rayan and I prep ahead of time, hit the little thumbs up and let me know that that's something you would like. And as always, if you're not already subscribed, hit that little bell so that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Enjoy our quilted bubblegum and our new deluxe and double quilted bubblegum that we posted today, and I will see you soon, friends.